everyone, it's April here at Dragons and Dresses Craftsorium, and this is my video for the collaboration with Miss Tracy over at MiniscenesGB for 2024, and it is Christmas in July. Oh, I forgot to put that in there. That's okay. It's Christmas in July collab with MiniscenesGB. So I'm going to take this off now, and we're going to get started. I'm not going to do your typical resin piece today. I'm going to do a couple of ornaments. I'm going to do two different ways so you can learn both ways. I'm going to do the kind that you snap together, da-da-da-da, and it goes together. And I'm also going to do one that is just a little ornament ball that has the top in it. You pull the top out, and there you go. First things first, we have to get these things with the bonding primer on them, so we're going to do that. Don't forget to go check out everybody else on the playlist because there's a lot of wonderful artists in there. They do all sorts of different things. And what I'm using today is bonding primer by Pentart. And of course I forgot to put my apron on, but that's okay. Craft clothes, you know. So you want to take, I use a dauber brush, and I will put it on the whole thing. Now you can leave half of it open or whatever you want to do if you want to do an inside seam, but that'll come later, closer to Christmas time, around the middle or end of October to November. I'll start doing Christmas decoration things, and that will be one of them. So I'm going to get this on here, and I'm going to put 2 coats on it, so just in case, because I can see where it's, you know, not stuck on all of it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this done. I'm going to do both of them, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I did 1 coat on each one, and on the one that has the screw cap or the push-in cap, I'm using a paintbrush to hold it, and then I'll hold it down like this as I'm going to do the painting part, because I can't find something that fits in that hole properly. Oh, wait, there we go. Yeah, we can use that. I just saw that over there. Okay, that works. Okay, so we're going to do 1 more coat on these, let them dry, and if you're in a time crunch, don't use a heat gun on plastic. It will melt it and deform it. If it's glass, it's fine, go ahead and use it. But if it's plastic, don't use a heat gun on it to dry it. You can use a blow dryer, or you can put it in front of the fan, because it doesn't take long for this stuff to dry. So, but don't use a heat gun. Like an embossing gun is even too hot for it. So don't use that. Definitely don't use your big heat guns. Alright, let me do 1 more coat, and then I'll be right back. You might be asking, what is bonding primer? Well, bonding primer is exactly that. It primes your surface, whether it be glass, plastic, wood, whatever, and it gets it ready for the application of, say, acrylic paint or a varnish or the decoupage glue. Okay, so what my next step is going to be is to paint these with acrylic paint, and I want it white. You don't have to with the bonding primer to decoupage over it, but I want a nice smooth surface, so I'm going to use the acrylic paint, also by Pentart. Okay, and when that gets done, I will come right back with you. Okay, now choosing the paper. I'm using rice paper, but you can also use paper if you have a laser printer. And if you're very careful and you let it dry for, 3 or 4 days, you can use an inkjet printer, and then you just take a piece of tape, like packing tape, and you put it on the back of the paper. Not the side where you have your image, but the other side, the back. And you lay it on there, and then you pull it off. It'll make it thin enough that you can just use that also. I'll demonstrate that on another video. But I'm going to be using rice paper. And I have a crud ton of rice paper. But my friend Gert over at Gert Creates, she helped me decide which ones I wanted to do. And since I live in Florida, I'm going to do Florida Christmas. So I'm going to do this set. Is going to be betta fish. And I'm going to take one of each of these. Possibly the palm tree, and then maybe the shells, and put it on the other one. Not sure yet, so I'll either do all shells, or I'll do the palm tree and some shells for the other one. But this one is the betta fish. I had like 9 or 10 of them out, so yeah. And I know that it's not going to cover the whole thing, which is okay, because I can place extra pieces around it. So with this one, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to rip it, because you don't want straight edges. I mean, sometimes it's better if you wet it first before you rip it, but it's okay. I don't care about the frayed edges. I actually want them. It helps to blend it better. And even along the side over here, I'm going to tear it so that I don't have that straight edge right there. I'm going to get these torn out, and in the blink of an eye, it'll be like magic. Okay, I know what you're thinking, but April, it's not going to lay on there right. You know what? You're right. So that's when you take your scissors, and you want to cut straight in all the way around it. so that when you lay it on there, it will go down. And lay on top of it. Once it's wet, it smooths out much better. And you won't even see the wrinkles in it then. Or you could cut in even further because you're going to overlap it when you do fold it down. And you really won't even see those cuts in it. Okay, so let's start this. I'm going to use the decoupage varnish and glue with the glitter in it from Pentart. I have lots of this available for sale. If anyone is interested, I have lots of Pentart stuff for sale. I even have this beta fish paper, the rice paper. I used to have an online craft supply store, so I had lots of it. I just don't want to have to get two different types of decoupage glue out. So I'm just going to use this one. Where's that little hook? Right there. I want that. And when you lay it down, you're going to overlap it a little bit. And you'll never even see where you overlapped it once you're done. The only difference between this one, this decoupage varnish and glue is it has a little bit of glitter in it, which is perfect because I was going to add glitter anyway, so now I don't have to. I'm going to pick it up now, and you want to smooth from the top down, get all the wrinkles out that you can. And the creases. Once this rice paper gets wet, it's very malleable. And you can take your paintbrush and carefully flatten those creases and grooves out if you want. It's plumb up to you. If you want to have texture in it, don't. If you don't want texture, flatten them out. Because I'm still going to be adding a little more around the outside edge. Because I don't want all that white space showing. So I'm going to fast forward this, put it on time lapse so you can watch, and I'll be back when it's done. Have that part on there. You don't need to see me do the other pieces on the other half of this one. But with the fact that it's so many different colors, that helps a lot in shading because there's no reason that you can't just, you know, fill in any hole with any piece. Like, see, I have a little bit of white right there. It's not even the same color. But because it has so much different shading in it, it's okay. And I'm not going to worry too much about this fine line right here because I'm putting something around that anyway, and you'll never even see that. So, and the white kind of blends in a little bit. And when it's dry, you want to take a file and do around the edges. Now, these go into each other. One side has a little lip on it, like here. You don't want to put any decoupage glue or anything like that on this one. I'm actually going to be scraping off the paint and the primer from right there, too. But I'm going to do this side, and then I'll be back to show you how to do the other one. Okay, once you have all of your paper, your rice paper on there good, make sure you put a nice coat of the decoupage varnish and glue or Mod Podge if that's what you're using. Make sure you put a nice even coat all the way around it, because with what I'm going to do next, you have to have a varnish over the top as well, which I have that right here, because I'm going to do this like an antique crackle. So we're going to do those, and those are done. I'm just going to let them dry, and then I'll show you how I get that off the edges of that one. Okay, now for the other one. I haven't decided what I want to do on here yet. So, it all depends on the size. Since it's going to go this direction, I'm thinking this Nautilus one here, or maybe the Starfish. I kind of like the Nautilus. So we'll do the Nautilus. And I do like that palm tree in the back. I mean, it's two different shades of blue, but that's okay. Maybe I should do the Starfish because it does have this darker blue in it. And I have these left available also. And they're $2 a sheet if anyone is interested in them. I did a video a while back that shows all of the different sheets that I had. Now, some of those are gone, mind you, because it's been a couple of months or so. But I do have lots of other stuff left. Okay, we're going to do those two. Let me get the Starfish one out instead of that Nautilus, I do believe. I don't know why I just trimmed it, but it's okay. Or maybe we'll do the Nautilus and the Starfish. Yeah, that's what we'll do. See, I changed my mind at the drop of a hat, y'all. What is wrong with me? It took me 3 hours just to whittle it down to these, I do believe. Thanks to Gert. You guys don't forget to check out all these lovely artists that are in this collab. Now this one is upside down, because I'm going to hold it upside down, so I want to make sure that I put this on upside down. And I got way too much up here at the top, but that's okay. I can use that as filler. Because I want it to be seen, the Starfish. Now, I do have to rip it in towards the center, because otherwise it will fold and crease, and that's not pretty. I mean, yes, we can get it out, but it still isn't pretty. Okay, so I'm going to add my wet to the bottom, and then lay it on there, very similar to the other one. But just remember now, you have the whole curve on this one. So when you're laying it on, you want to make sure that you're doing it in a circle. That way when you go to glue those rips back together that you did, or cuts, whatever you did, you're going to overlap it that way. And you really won't be able to tell. And if anybody can see that, then they are way too close to your works of art, and they need to back up, bucko. Just saying. Now this one may be getting a little something on the bottom of it. I haven't decided yet, but I made this beautiful crystal cluster that I was thinking of putting it on the bottom, but it doesn't quite fit it right, so I'm not sure. Remember, from the inside out, that's how you want to press your Mod Podge, your decoupage, whatever you're using. And you can still do the same thing, smooth those out. Only thing with doing a ball like this, that is not straight. I can't take it off now, so if I took it off now, it would be all messed up. So it's just going to have to be a little crooked. Is when you go to put it on the other side, this side's still wet. So we know that it's going to be too much there. But it's okay. This will be filler. I'm trying to make my rips where they're a little more inconspicuous. I know. Big word, right? And if you wanted to, you could put 2 or 3 different ones on here just to fill it up. Which actually, that might not be a bad idea, because I have other shells too. I think that's what we're going to do. This one will probably get 3 on it now. Ooh, bonus section. I'm getting, oh, sorry, I thought I was in frame. I guess it wasn't. There we go. Sorry about the camera shaking. I was trying to move my camera so you guys could see because I can't, my shoulder's dislocated again and I can't really hold it way out there. It happens all the time. This has soapy water in it, this little tube for when I'm demolding my molds. I don't use alcohol, I use soapy water. But it fits on there perfectly. Now once we get done with the third one, we'll smooth it over. And you don't need to see me do it again, so I'm going to do this third one. Maybe a fourth if I have room. And then I will stop the time lapse and we'll do the next step once it's dry. Alright, see you in a sec. Okay, now that this one's dry, and I went and washed my hands, it's not completely dry, but I'm going to take my X-Acto knife. I know some people use a scalpel or whatever, that whatever your cutting device is, not a deburring tool. You cut off the majority of that, so it's easier to do with the nail file. Because you want it to snap together. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you want it to be, you know, an open side. You know, that be one side and then do a little scene or something in here with whatever. But that's up to you. I'm not. I'm going to close it. But if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them down in the comment section. And if this is your first time joining, then welcome to the Craftsorium, where we do all sorts of crafts here, not just decoupage or resin or UV resin or clay. We do it all. I'm actually going to be getting into doing some crochet stuff here soon too. I hope. I keep saying that, but you know. Alright, so that's scored some. Let me get this one scored. Oh, this one doesn't need scoring because this is the other side. So this one just needs the nail file, which I have right here. This one's an old one, so yep, it's going to come apart. But it's okay. Repurpose, reuse. And then you just peel it off when it's done, when you get it done. A lot of people don't like that sound, so I will mute until this is done. Now that those are done, we can go on to the next step because this one's still drying a wee bit, so I'm going to set it off to the side. Alright, with these, the next step is going to be something that I did not even get out. Be right back. Okay, so I can either use the glossy varnish or the matte varnish, but since I'm going to go over it with the fine line crackle, first I'll do the matte varnish, and then I'll seal it in with the glossy varnish when I'm done. So you paint it on just like paint, and you let it dry as well. I know there's a lot of painting and drying. I can hear you all now. And I'm going to do a follow-up video to this because I have an empty wine bottle, which it was not a very good wine, so I dumped it out. And I'm going to do a bottle with that lights up with the Christmas scene also. And I'm going to mute until I'm done with this because you don't need to hear me talk anymore. And I will time-lapse while I'm doing it. Now we just got to let it dry. Once it's dry, we'll come back with the next step. Okay, so we are back with these. They are now dry. So the next step is a two-part process that I'm doing. It's called Fine Line Crackle, and this is also, everything that I'm using today is by Pentart. So, except for like the additives that I'm going to put on there, but I'll tell you where I get them from. Now the bubbles, I got these from Hobby Lobby. But if you're not in the States, you can get them from Amazon. Or if you are in the States, you can get them from Amazon. You can get them from the Dollar Tree. You can get them multiple Oriental Trading Company if you want to do them in bulk. You know, you can get them from pretty much anywhere. So with this, it's 2 steps for fine line crackle. If you've watched me before, thank you for coming back. And if you are enjoying what you're seeing, maybe you might consider subscribing. So this is what is next. It's part 1. We put it on, we let it dry. Then we add part 2. We put it on, we let it dry. And then we just wait. And then we see the cracks show up. So once the cracks are shown up, I'm going to time lapse this so you can watch me put these on. And I'll wait in between. And then I'll do the second part. And then we'll let it dry. And then we'll do the cracks afterward. Okay? Be right back. Okay, so for the next step, since these are good and dry, I let them dry overnight, I'm going to add some antiquing wax, but I don't want to let it go that far. I want to keep it at least 1 thumbnail away from the edge. That's going to be kind of hard, but we're going to try it. I'm using antiquing paste, or antique paste in white by Pentart. This stuff smells so good. Can you smell it? Ooh! And I'm going to take a little bit on my nail, so I can get it out. Remember, I don't want to put it here, so I'm going to start out here. And this is going to fill in all those cracks that I made in there with the fine line cracking paste. Or varnish, rather. And there are other brands that you can use. Bear has a white one. Sure, there's other brands that you can use. So you can use white paint. You can use mica powder. It just doesn't show up as well, but you can use it. Get it all on there. You want to push it in kind of hard because you're going to wipe it off afterwards. So you want to get it rubbed in there really good. Get you a paper towel. And then wipe it off. Look how beautiful. Look at all those cracks in there. Isn't that gorgeous? It makes it look very antique, doesn't it? I love this effect so much. I could do this on everything. I think I have tried doing it on so many different things. And again, we'll do it on this one. Now, the other one's going to be a little different. It's not the same stuff. It's not the antique paste. So I wanted to show you could use other things. Still trying to keep it right off that edge. It's all rubbed in. There you go. Isn't that beautiful? I think it's beautiful. Oh, I missed the spot right there. Where did I see it? Get it out from under my nail. Okay, here's that one. Put this back on here. Cute little glass jars. There's that one. Now we're going to take and get as much off as I can off my hand. Use a little alcohol. Now with this one, I'm not going to put my hand down in it. It's wax paste. I'm going to use a paper towel. get some out. And drop the paper towel, apparently. That was way too much. But it's okay. Well, maybe I'll hold on to it. You can see it filling in those cracks. Yeah, I pulled out way too much, but it's okay. And wipe it off. And this one is copper. Now this one is just a wax paste, metallic wax paste in copper. Where this one was the antique paste. This one is a softer consistency in the white. So I chose to use it instead of the other white ones that I have. And we'll take a very light mist, air it out a little bit so it's not quite as wet. And just wipe off the top. Another little mist of alcohol. It's not dripping, it's just a mist. You want to clean it off really good. Now, it'll stay down in the cracks, but you want to clean it off. But isn't that cool looking? Not cleaned off yet, but it's still pretty cool looking. Let's see if I can get it to focus just on that. There we go. Now I'm going to clean these off real good, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, now that I've got those nice and cleaned off, anywhere that you want to put embellishments or anything, you want to make sure you clean it off really good with some alcohol. Like these, I'm going to do these right here at the edge. I'm just going to wipe the edge off with some alcohol. Just where they meet. And here, right up and around the top, I want to make sure it's cleaned off because this is a wax that we just put on there, and it kind of repels sometimes glues and all that, but I'm going to use Express Glue by Pentart, and it's a really great glue. I use it for a lot of things. And anywhere that you think you're going to put it, make sure you clean it off pretty good. Like in the white areas, I'm going to put some embellishments there. Get a little more alcohol. Now, you don't want to soak it in it, you just want to wipe it off. Okay, that's done. Get it off my hands as much as possible. Okay, now for the next piece here, I'm going to take that same glue that I just told you about, the Express Glue. As soon as I figure out where I put it. I thought I had it laying right here. Let me get it and I'll be right back. Okay, so here's the Express Glue. With any glue, you want to make sure you shake it up pretty good. And it too is by Pentart. Now, where's just the one? Yep, this one. See how this one has that lip on there? I'm going to take a little bit of this glue. And I'm just going to run it a little bitty bead. Because it's quite a liquidy glue. Right around the whole thing. I keep forgetting not to do it in my lap. Do it where you guys can see. And here's where I'm going to put the two spheres together. Make sure you line them up. And this one just snaps into place. Now that I've got it on, I want to make sure it's lined up good, so I'll twist it just a little bit to get it perfectly lined up, which that's not going to happen, I don't think. I don't think I've ever gotten one perfectly lined up. You don't want to press too hard because you don't want it to break. If there's a little bit of a line, it's no big deal where you can see it because we're going to cover it up anyway. So I'm going to give that a few minutes just to dry while we work on the other one. Okay, now on this one, I'm going to make faux coral. I grabbed this from Michael's Ashland reindeer moss. This one is in white. You can get it from Temu. You can get it from a lot of different places. Amazon. But I happen to was at Michael's one day when I saw this, so I'm going to use it. It's not white, it's off-white, and I love that. Okay, so I'm going to take and put my express glue where I want it to go. Then I'm going to lay this on there. Now this is not going to be, this is a real live, or it was at one time, live moss. So, it's not, you're not going to be able to make this hard because it's not hardenable, I guess, unless you dip it in, like, I don't know. Maybe you'd have to dip it in resin or something. I don't know. I'm not doing that, so. Oops. But as you can see, you can just leave it lay there for just a second, lightly press on it, and it takes a hold. Excuse me. Well, I'm going to go mute and listen to the music while I do this. I'll try not to speed it up too fast. Okay, now for this one, I am going to use that same glue, but I'm using these beautiful stickers that I got from Hobby Lobby to go around the edge. I got 2 packages because I'm not sure how many I'm going to need. So with this, I'm going to take the same glue. Now you do need to seal these. You can use a spray sealer, like a spray paint clear coat, or I'm going to use glossy varnish by Pentart, which will keep them glossy. The only problem is this one that I put all that on, I may have to take that off. But I wanted you to see my mistakes too. So that would have been better on the inside of one, which I still have one clear bulb. I'll put it on the inside just to go with that set. And I'll take that off and I will put sand on there. But that will be done at the end. And I'll use the same glue. I'll put this down and then sprinkle a little sand on it just to cover up where I kind of messed that up, and then gloss over it. But that'll be on a time lapse, so you don't have to sit and watch all that. Okay, so I am going to put a little bit of this glue right here. And yes, I'm going to use my finger because I don't need a whole lot, but I want it there. Peel one of these sticker pieces off. Start it right there at the top. Kind of keep it central, just to hide that seal. And then once we put the glossy varnish on here, it will also help seal it in. That's going to be so pretty. So we're going to time lapse, and you'll see this done in just a fraction of a moment. Glue dried pretty good, and then I'll be back to finish it up. Okay, so I took all that off there, wiped it off as good as I could. I'm just going to add some more glue to it, but what I did with that, I didn't throw it away. I put it in a clear bubble. Makes it look like coral. There's some seashells. You can't really see it, but there's seashells and some sand. And a little bit of gold glitter in there just to give it a sparkle. But it's an interactive one, so you can shake it down that way, and you'll never get the same look twice. So that's one way you can fix your mistakes. Well, not really a mistake. It was just an idea that didn't come to fruition. I like that word better, or term. Okay, so I'm gonna, as you can see, I got glitter everywhere. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a paper towel, because I'm going to use sand, and my glue. And I'm just going to go over where I put some of that other before and just sprinkle a little sand. I'm going to rub the glue on a little bit. Take a spoon and sprinkle some sand on there. Not a whole lot, just enough to give it a little bit of a look, I guess. And, of course, got to have a little bit of that glitter. Gives it just a little bit of sparkle. You don't want to leave a whole lot on there either, so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix a little sand with the glitter in it. And then I will put that on there because I like the way the sand and the glitter mix together. So, get some sand, three scoops. Ever so slight little bit of glitter. Way too much glitter, but it's okay. Mix it up. See, now you can see the glitter in the sand. Go over where I had that other. Just a light dusting and tap it off. Just give it a little shimmy shake, a little tappy wrap. And we'll give it a little bit in here. Because remember, we're going to seal this in anyway. And this stuff does not take long to set, so had a hard time pulling it off, the moss off, because it had already set so well. Just wherever I see wet glue, I'm just going to sprinkle some more of this, because I have one more step that I want to add to this. I don't like that, so we're going to add a little more. It gives it a little bit of a beachy look now. Granted, that's not the correct color sand, but it's what I had on hand. And it doesn't look bad when you add the gold to it. All right, well, I'm going to clean this up, and as soon as that's dry, I'll be right back with you. Okay, so that's dry now, and I've taken a light brush, and I have just brushed off the excess. Now, what else I'm going to do is I'm going to take the same express glue and let it sit there, start getting a little tacky, and then I'm going to put some of these seashells on here, like so, and let it dry. And you can enjoy the process. This one I will speed up and time-lapse because this one's going to take a few. So, enjoy the ride. Okay, I'm going to switch gears because that's not going to work. So what I am going to do is I'm going to use just a tad little drop of UV glue. Have to make sure I don't touch any of it because I'm allergic to it. And we're going to put just a little bit to where it drips down and attaches itself to that ball, the ornament. And I'm going to shove a couple of more little shells in there, and then we're going to hit it with the light. And then I'll put it underneath just to make sure everything is cured. I might actually throw a starfish on here too and make sure that it's completely UV'd in. Now you can seal the whole thing with UV and make it a little more protected, and it'll keep that sand from coming off. I'm not, but you can. Let me get one of these out. colors. We'll use a little one. A little one. See, there's a perfect spot for it right there. But not that hair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drip all over that starfish because I want to encapsulate it, which means to cover it completely. We'll throw another one of these little... Oh, I don't have that one in there yet. Let's throw one of those up there. Maybe a little pearl. We've got some little pearls right here. And we will set it. And you can do that at the bottom. This just went a whole different direction, didn't it? I am so special like that. Uh-oh, it dripped over here. So now I have to wipe that off. But I can leave that because I'm going to put the shells all the way around it. So now that I have that little bit there already started, let's go ahead and add some more shells to it. Don't touch it. You should be wearing gloves, April. Oh, I know I should be. Yep, I talk to myself. Don't you all? I was trying to make them every other way, but it's not working. We can make a ring around it that way. Alright, I'm going to speed this up and then you guys can hang out and watch. Okay, now that I've done that, I'm going to put it in my Let's Resin curing light, and when that's done, I'll be back and we'll varnish these up and we'll be done. Alright, see you in a sec. Okay, now that we've got that done, I'm going to zoom back out because I forgot that I was zoomed in so far. There we go. Now I'm going to take the glossy varnish from Pentart, of course shake it up, and I'm going to paint both of those because those are now, the other one is, I'm going to cure it just one more time just to be safe. While I'm doing that, this part, there might be still a little bit of UV somewhere, so, and I don't want to have another reaction to it, so I'm leaving my gloves on for now so I can clean up really, really good. Change my paper and all that. I like to keep the foils in there because in my mind, it probably isn't true, but in my mind it keeps it from leaking through the bottle. And my mind's a little weird anyway, so. Okay, so you want to take it, and it's very liquidy, but that's okay. And you just want to brush it over, get it up to the edges of those, and it'll help keep them sealed down. And I will time-lapse this part so you don't have to watch it in real time because this could take forever. Okay, so for like the 12th time, just during this video, I changed my mind. I'm going to put UV on this, and I'm just going to rub it around because I have my gloves on still, and then I'm going to cure it, and it's going to super shine that way because I love all that glitter that's in there. It's so pretty, and I want to show it, and it'll enhance the cracks too. I thought about that afterwards, so we're going to do that, and then I will fast forward this part. Okay, well, that is done. It's now cured and everything, and it's really good to go. So I did add a little rhinestone to the eye of each one of the betta fish because I thought it needed it. It's really cute, though. I love it. And with the shine on that, and it gives it a little more durability because, you know, with these plastic ones, you crush them and they stay stuck in. But with the resin on there, it won't do that. There's the other side. So what do you guys think? If you're new here, welcome. And if you stayed this long, you might want to consider subscribing. Leave a comment down below if you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, be nice about it, but leave a comment. And constructive criticism is always welcome. But don't be rude, because rude gets you nowhere. I think that one's so pretty. And all those white cracks, it just magnifies with that. This one I have to get a top for, but it's so pretty because I used the top off this onto this one. But I can get more tops. That's no problem. With the copper in the cracks, it's so pretty. And there's the bottom. Of course, it'll hang like that. Or you can use it for something else because it stands up on its bottom. Not level, but it stands. There's that one. And then our bonus one, because I didn't want to waste what I had in there, we have shells and starfish and what looks like coral and sand and glitter. Bonus! Okay, with that being said, I want to thank you guys for joining me today. And if you can make one person laugh or smile every day, then your day has been worthwhile. And I hope I did that for someone today because I like to make my days worthwhile. And remember, check out everybody else in the playlist link, which will be down below. And you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you. And thank you, Tracy, for hosting this collaboration at MiniscenesGB. Thanks, you guys. Bye.